All right, welcome back to another episode of Biohacking Beauty, the podcast where we blend cutting edge science with skincare to help you unlock youthful, radiant skin at any age. I'm your host, Amitai Eshel, and I'm also the founder of Young Goose Skincare, where we take a biohacking longevity approach to skin health. Today, it's going to be a solo episode. We're going to really go deep into the science that powers Young Goose and what we call longevity skincare or the skin longevity matrix, and basically Young Goose formulations. Because unlike conventional skincare that simply hydrates or plumps or imbues some temporary effects on the skin, our products are designed to rewire skin function at a cellular level, targeting the root causes of aging. And notice that I said root causes and not one cause, and we're going to get to it. In this episode, we'll explore the groundbreaking biomolecular repair technologies behind our formulations, from NAD precursors that fuel cellular energy to spermidine driven autophagy for deep cellular detoxification, and even GHKCU copper peptides for unparalleled skin regeneration, and many more, actually. You'll learn how these ingredients don't just improve the skin's appearance, but actually reverse signs of aging by optimizing mitochondrial function, DNA repair, and cellular resilience. We'll also discuss how these biohacking skincare technologies integrate with other longevity strategies, for example, like red light therapy and hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or different facials, to really amplify the results. So, if you're ready to take your skincare routine beyond the surface, no pun or pun intended actually, and into the world of real anti aging science, stay tuned because this episode is packed with insights that will change how you think about skincare, hopefully forever. So, let's get started. And the first molecule that really, so what we're going to do today, we're going to look at what molecules, and this is really a continuation of the last podcast I recorded on my own that looked at, this kind of science of how the skin ages, etc. So I recommend looking into that episode first. But in case you haven't, you're looking for answers on what ingredients you need to look for in your skincare, and also where skincare is going beyond us, because from behind the scenes I can tell you, and this is something obviously we're not allowed to share, the names of the companies or individuals or entrepreneurs, but the biggest names that you could think of, just think of the biggest name you can think of or the biggest companies you can think of. They are asking us to develop NAD skincare for them. For example, because NAD is hot now, but I'm assuming people who are listening to this podcast think that everyone knows what NAD is, but really the masses haven't heard about NAD yet, or just starting to hear about it because Hailey Bieber, I never know if to call her Hailey or Hailey, but Bieber and Kardashian were talking about it. So that's when people start knowing about stuff. So that is where we're at. But we're going to talk about molecules today that you're going to see in other skincare companies in 5-10 years, like spermidine. But let's get started. Let's talk about NAD or NAD precursors. So first of all, what is NAD, or why is it essential for youthful skin? So NAD, which is called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a critical coenzyme found in all living cells. And what it does, it drives cellular energy. It also drives in a separate, so it has like a dual role. On one hand, it drives direct cellular energy in the mitochondria, or the generation of energy. But it also, in different parts of your cells, it drives DNA repair. It drives metabolic function. And as we age, that's why it's called the molecule of life. And as we age, NAD levels decline. And the reason that they decline is very interesting. Your body relies on itself, really, to recycle most of the NAD. It's like a rechargeable battery, if you would. But I know, unfortunately, with my Tesla, with time, those batteries are becoming less efficient. So you could think of NAD the same way, where it's not the battery, it's just like charging the battery. So the charge becomes less sticky, if you would. And NAD levels decline with age. The body relies on itself to recycle NAD back to a usable form. And every time it does that, just a little bit less is being recycled, and which leads to a dramatic decline as we age. So it really starts declining where we can measure it, or the levels start to become problematic in our late 20s, early 30s. But by the time we're 60, we're left with half of what we need. And you've probably heard me say that a lot. Um, Aging is really the accumulation of unrepaired damage. And every time we don't have enough NAD, we can't repair. So that is the most direct kind of correlation I can draw there. But what it would lead to, that decline, first of all, decreased ATP production. So ATP is really the energy, the fuel that your cells use. So it creates an energy deficit in the cell. It also weakens DNA repair mechanisms. So accelerated damage is accumulating. It compromises collagen and elastin synthesis. So we all know the trope of collagen declines with age. I would actually suggest that elastin is more problematic and more important as far as their appearance, but both of them, those building blocks of youthful skin appearance, decline with the production of them declines with age. And it all starts with the lack of NAD, the inability of your genes, of your epigenetics, to stay fresh, vibrant, and correct. And without adequate NAD, the skin experiences slower cellular turnover, which is how fast the skin renews itself. And the reason it does that is because there is a balance between the skin's ability to access youthful information and how fast it's going to renew itself. What happens normally with conventional thinking around skincare is, how can we accelerate cellular turnover? So when we're younger, we're going to turn over cells every few weeks, every 2-3 weeks. When we're older, it's going to be every 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But when we try and turn over cells very, very fast, even though our cells function as older cells, we create increased aging because they do it not very well. So we need NAD in order for us to even reap the benefits if we stimulate the skin to renew itself with other, whatever that is, other stimuli. So when every time someone asks us, hey, you posted that, microneedling is good, or radio frequency microneedling is bad, or Althera is like the worst, or whatever, you need to understand that all of that is, some things are worse than others, but everything is bad if your skin cannot react positively to it. And another issue with reacting to stressors is oxidative stress. So lower NAD increases the oxidative load, oxidative stress, which is a major, maybe the most dominant driver of skin aging. We are aware of. And weakened skin barrier. Okay, not weakened like the end of the week or the singer, a weaker skin barrier, which is a basically most of your experience of dryness, flakiness, brittle, Uh, um, Many of the problems that you feel your skin has are stemming from a weakened and malfunctioning skin barrier. So how can we target that, or what is kind of what you're going to see and what is important for you to understand? So what we do at Young Goose, we use nano-sized NAD precursors. So NAD, as I said, it's kind of a molecule that's recycled in the body. The problem is that your body needs to recycle it itself. If you're going to give your body NAD, the best case scenario is going to break it down to the recyclable parts and recycle it anew where it needs it, because it can't just kind of usher. It doesn't have the mechanism to just like you shuttle the full molecule around in the body. What it knows is that I'm using it inside my cells, and by the time it's not inside my cells, it's in a broken form that I need to recycle. So there are two problems there. The first problem is not enough recyclable materials, which are called precursors. The most common ones are NR, NMN, and niacinamide. Niacinamide is very common in skincare. There are problems with niacinamide, and there is NR and NMN. Okay? NR and NMN are cleaner. They don't dampen the skin's ability to recycle more and more NAD. The problem with spermidine, the problem with niacinamide is your body recognizes niacinamide as the waste material of NAD usage, and it's basically signaling to your body, hey, you should not recycle as much NAD because I've used a lot. I need to preserve energy. And that is why, we don't recommend like taking no non-flush niacin, which is niacinamide, as a supplement, for a long period of time, all the time in high dosages. We prefer NR and NMN. Same thing in your skin. So if you have skin with niacinamide, we in Young Goose basically transform niacinamide to a molecule that we cannot really talk about much yet, but it kind of masks it. It allows your body to use it without the dampening of recycling. But in general, these are the precursors. So if you have skincare with just full-on NAD, it is for marketing. It's not going to do anything. You need the precursors. The second thing is these precursors need to be micronized. They need to be nano-sized, micronized, and they need to be liposomal. They need to be in a lipid, in a fat kind of bubble, so they survive. If not, they're going to break apart. They're not going to be viable by the time they get to you, by the time they absorb into the skin. So these are the prerequisites. It can't be full NAD. It needs to be the precursors, preferably NR or NMN, because as far as I know, we're the only company that right now uses the form of niacinamide that will not block your skin's ability to recycle NAD. And then they need to be micronized, they need to be liposomal. Okay? So that's the first thing. What we've developed, we have one product currently that has our new complex that is called NAD Apex. And NAD Apex actually does two things. It provides those precursors, mainly NR, by the way, and it also does something else, which is turbocharges your skin's ability to recycle NAD. So it completes the picture. It gives it the ability, the fuel to recycle NAD, or the building blocks for NAD, but it also really press the turbo button on the recycling pathways, which is if you know, for example, if you follow Ben Greenfield or Chris Gethin or Sean Wells, you'll see them recommend a company called Biostacks, and they have an NAD precursor or NAD boosting supplement. What they use in that supplement is not a real precursor. It's called cuprose niacin. And copper niacin doesn't really turn into NAD. It increases the recycling of NAD. So we are starting to see that more and more, the boosting of recycling of NAD. We are NAD Apex combines the two. Right now, it only exists in a product we kind of soft launched on our website, which is called Ladder, which stands for Light Activated DNA Repair. In the future, it's going to be in all of our formulations that are boosting NAD. Okay, so that's about NAD. Again, clinical benefits: boosts cellular turnover and rejuvenation, improves elasticity and resilience, and reduces fine lines, wrinkles, and pigmentation. That's as far as NAD. The second molecule that probably is even more impactful is spermidine. And when I'm going to talk about spermidine, I would, again, talk about spermidine and its precursors. They work the same way which we talked about NAD. We actually need spermidine, but we also need the other ingredients, spermine and putrescine, which turn into spermidine. We use them interchangeably. So we use a complex called Celvio, which has all three. And spermidine life and Primidine are the only supplements I'm aware of right now that use those kind of full spectrum spermidine complexes. If you use other brands, they only use spermidine, and these are there actually is no evidence that spermidine works in a vacuum without those other putrescine and spermine. So bear that in mind. So what is spermidine? And I'm going to use spermidine as a keyword here because spermidine is it's like NAD. It's what your body is going to use in the end, but we want the building blocks as well. So what is it? It is an autophagy activator. And so it's autophagy activator and cellular cleanup. So what is autophagy? And why is it? I would argue it is critical for anti-aging or for age reversal. So autophagy is the body's self-cleaning mechanism, so self-cleansing mechanism. Cells break down and cells. What it does is it breaks down cells and removes damaged components to prevent toxic buildup. As we age, autophagy declines. Spermidine in our cells declines, which leads to the accumulation of damaged proteins and cellular waste. So damaged collagen and elastin for that matter, and just debris all over the place. And you know what? I'm going to save something for the end here, but it also increases inflammation. It increases oxidative stress. We've talked about oxidative stress, but inflammation is another mega super ager. So inflammaging is already a hallmark of aging that is not included in the classic hallmarks of aging, but is widely recognized as a huge super driver of aging, especially in the skin. So reduced ability to repair and regenerate healthy tissues is tightly connected with the lack of spermidine. So in longevity skincare, spermidine is triggering autophagy and mimicking the effects of fasting. And I think I was saving something here for later, which is what we are going to see in research that is going to be published soon, is that you need spermidine at adequate levels, even if you want to reap the benefits of fasting. So it's not only mimicking fasting, it is actually needed in the level of the DNA in order to have any autophagy whatsoever. So it helps detoxify aging cells. It clears out senescent cells, zombie cells. And if you're looking for a super effective way to clear out senescent zombie cells, spermidine is your answer. And it restores youthful skin function. I know that maybe detoxification to some might not be as sexy as something that increases collagen production. Like you haven't heard me say increases something, but there is a big but here. You could think of that mechanism like a chimney where it doesn't only like clears out all the smoke, all the toxins. It also stokes the flame. So when we clear out those broken proteins, that broken collagen, elastin, etc., we don't only recycle it to building blocks that you can use now, but also it actually stimulates more repair, stimulates more youthful function, which is magical. That's why I say it's probably the strongest molecule we're going to have for many, many years as far as skincare is concerned. It firms and smooths skin texture. It supports barrier integrity and hydration. And it prevents inflammatory aging and collagen and elastin breakdown. So, in my opinion, probably the most important molecule that we use. The third molecule is copper peptides. And we have, if you really want to like dive deep into peptides and copper peptides specifically, I recommend an episode we did with Away's Spall. The second episode we had with Away Spall probably like a couple months ago, 3 months ago. Highly recommended. So what that does, it creates skin remodeling and regeneration. And what makes copper peptides a powerful anti-aging agent is that it is a naturally occurring peptide in our skin that plays a significant role in the skin's repair, as I said, collagen remodeling and antioxidant protections. It binds to copper ions, which sound simple, but they're super essential for for a lot of enzymatic processes that drive tissue regeneration. So GHKCU, which is the most effective form of copper peptides, has fantastic benefits. It boosts collagen and elastin synthesis for firmer and more youthful skin. It reduces fine lines and wrinkles and also age spots, and accelerates wound healing and skin renewal. And as I said before, it neutralizes oxidative damage and inflammation. I do want to insert something here. Copper peptide has a hard time, like everything I said before, it's not as simple as like a buzzword. It has a hard time operating in a vacuum. If your skin has, we need to kind of work with how your skin moves in a way which supports the copper peptides not being cleared out, not being metabolized very fast. So what we use at Young Goose is a proprietary copper peptide complex that enhances penetration and ensures maximum cellular regeneration. Very hard to formulate with copper peptides, by the way. So if anyone says, "Oh, we have copper peptides in our skincare," I would look for an explanation as far as like how do they make sure that they have high affinity to the skin, or how do they make sure that it's utilized well by the skin. A molecule that the next molecule, which you've probably heard me talk about quite a bit, but I think it's still overlooked, is advanced vitamin C forms, especially MAP, which is magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, or THD ascorbate, which is also called THDA. So MAP and THDA. Why? Collagen synthesis and antioxidant protection. Standard vitamin C, ascorbic acid, is super problematic. First of all, it is synthetic. It doesn't exist in nature. And because of that, it's highly unstable. It's prone to oxidation, and it can generate pro-oxidative damage rather than protecting the skin. What I'm talking about is like over 3%, over 5%. Some skincare has like 20, 30% of that ascorbic acid. And what happens is it actually ages the skin. It causes something called ferroptosis, which is cellular death and degradation due to oxidative damage through iron atoms. So don't use ascorbic acid, um, because the products that as I said, degrade quickly, not only losing potency but actually the reverse of that. So what Young Goose uses, and that is not exclusive to us, good companies would use advanced vitamin C solutions such as MAP and THDA, and will not use ascorbic acid. What's the difference between MAP and THDA? MAP is water soluble and it stays more on the surface of the skin. It's great to protect the skin from oxidative load, etc. It's brightening, but it's less effective at supporting collagen production. So vitamin C, especially THDA, which is lipid soluble, is imperative for collagen production. And THCA does it more effectively. So you make collagen 10 times faster with vitamin C rather than without it, and 10 times less mistakes, 10 times everything. So superior collagen production, synthesis, and skin elasticity, long-lasting antioxidant protection, and brightening and hyperpigmentation reduction. That's about vitamin C. Next, we're going to talk about enhanced fermented resveratrol. So enhanced fermented resveratrol activates a sirtuin that's called SIRT1, and it also activates DNA repair. The roles of sirtuins in skin longevity, mainly like sirtuin 1, sirtuin 3, they are longevity proteins that regulate DNA repair. So if we have many people asking us, hey, do you have DNA repair enzymes in your skincare, which we're going to talk about. But the most important is activating your innate DNA repair enzymes. How do you do that? First of all, they run on NAD. We need to make sure we have enough NAD, but we activate them with spermidine. These repair DNA. They also reduce inflammation, and they improve mitochondrial health. As I said, resveratrol specifically activates SIRT1. It mimics also caloric restriction, like we said before, which it is proven to extend the skin cell lifespan, which is positive, so lowering the biological age of the skin. Why am I saying enhanced fermented? That is because traditional resveratrol has low bioavailability, which means that the body doesn't absorb it efficiently. Fermentation, and the reason is, by the way, that your skin is lacking the enzyme that your gut would have to metabolize the resveratrol. So fermentation enhances the absorption and potency, making up for that enzyme and making it more bioactive for your skin. And we work our patented form of resveratrol has 5 patents around it. And it's shown to protect against oxidative stress and DNA mutations. It enhances skin elasticity and resilience and reduces inflammation-driven aging. You've heard me talk about zombie cells or senescent cells before. And it's important to note that this is one of the 12 hallmark of aging. So it's like 1 out of 12 things that makes our skin look and behave older. But it is a major player within those 12. So mitochondrial dysfunction is probably at the top. Autophagy and protein misfolding is probably second, and senescence is third. And the reason is that senescent cells constantly generate inflammation and oxidative stress. So how can we deal with that? So we can use senolytic or senomorphic complexes. So one of them we mentioned is spermidine. Another, and the reason we want to do that is they clear out those age dysfunctional cells The problem with senescent cells, specifically as opposed to other aged cells, is that they accelerate aging and they actually infect other cells. As skin ages, especially when it's exposed to UV or other UV, artificial blue light, EMFs, etc., senescent cells accumulate and they secrete pro-inflammatory signals that is called SASP that damages surrounding healthy tissue. So they actually drive inflammation. Um, this is ongoing constantly in the skin, low grade chronic inflammation, which we call inflammaging. It accelerates collagen breakdown. It accelerates elastin breakdown and the loss of elasticity. It accelerates uneven skin tone because, by the way, one of the most the cell our skin cells are not uniform. We have different ones: immune cells, um, fibroblasts that create collagen, but we also have um, melanocytes, which create pigment, and they're one of the most susceptible for senescence. And so, senescence in the skin really drives uneven skin tone. Um, so I've explained about spermidine. Another way to reduce senescent cells is by specific marine algae extracts that are senolytic, and they work. These marine extracts have senolytic compounds within them, which help clear out senescent cells. And they don't only do that; they also reactivate youthful metabolism. So they kind of rediscover a way for your cells to kind of damage themselves or kill off themselves or eliminate those cells themselves. So you'd notice that I talk a lot about, hey, we can give this to the body, but we can also make the body do X. So it's very important that we talk about both. And the key benefits of eliminating those cells is plumping and densifying the skin's extracellular matrix, reducing, as I said, pro-inflammatory aging markers, and restoring healthy cell signaling for you to other cells for youthful, vibrant skin. So this was where I planned on ending this podcast, but I already mentioned that we have a new product that's called Ladder, and it's kind of we haven't made a big buzz around it. I actually referred in the last podcast. I actually kind of told the story as why is it already on the website, but this is a product that is designed to harness the red light within red light therapy to rewind your biological age, and we can actually create a much more robust response when we harness that light. We can also improve how red light therapy works in general. But one of the main ingredients there are DNA repair photosomes, which, as I said, they harness red light and near infrared light for molecular level skin repair. Um, and I'd probably dive deep into them specifically in another episode. But what they do is they go after the UV damage uh, in the DNA, and they can actually repair that specific damage, which is considered like by dermatologists considered the end all be all as far as like what ages us and irreversible. So by using those DNA repair photosomes, we can go after um, that type of DNA damage and rewind it, which is a big deal. Um, but you need light for it. I will put something out there. You don't really need a red light therapy panel, even though it's going to make it better. You could just go out to the sun for like 5-10 minutes and it's going to activate those DNA repair enzymes as well. So check that out. It's called Ladder Serum. Um, how do the ingredients that I've spoken about today work together? So rather than targeting aging one step at a time, or the appearance of aging, what we do at Young Goose, our formulation integrate the powerful ingredients that I talked about today to address all 12 root causes of skin aging, or everything that, longevity, research science has shown, has kind of discovered in the last couple decades, 3 decades, to be the culprits of the decline of the skin over time. We can address all of those. This includes mitochondrial dysfunction, DNA damage, senescence, inflammation, loss of proteases, many other, so all 12 basically, and some that are not characterized as one of those hallmarks, but really all culprits. We support mitochondrial function and ATP production. We increase NAD and activate sirtuins to enhance cellular energy and resilience. We enhance DNA repair and skin regeneration. We mentioned that copper peptides, NAD precursors, resveratrol, these work in synergy to restore youthful gene expression. We can amplify other modalities like red and near infrared light therapy and other biohacking treatments like, microneedling or like peels, things that stimulate repair, which we said, yes, we need a youthful function in order to respond to that repair. NAD precursors, spermidine, and the marine algae extract that we use, for example, dramatically improves the results of red light in other ways. We, of course, use mitochondrial enhancers that we talked about less today to enhance the effects, or mimic actually, and enhance the effects of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And many, many more things. So, in conclusion, really the longevity approach to skin health is designed to rewire cellular aging mechanisms rather than temporarily, just improving the appearance of the skin. We use the latest research or the latest science-backed ingredients, and we morph them into something your skin can absorb and use, and work in synergy to extend skin health span, which is how youthful your skin functions. Whether it is like boosting collagen density, elastin production, enhancing cellular resilience against aging triggers, and in general, making your skin behave and function like a younger skin. So I think this podcast sets the stage, relies on the last podcast that I recorded on my own, and it sets the stage for the next one, where we'll be discussing how everything integrates to daily skincare routines and protocols, actionable cheat sheet type protocols to integrate these breakthroughs with other modalities in real world applications to reverse skin biology or biological age. So I hope this was not overwhelming. I tried to dance between the raindrops here and provide a lot of information, but on the other hand, to make it digestible. And I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. And I know I did. I love talking about those things. So if you didn't, if there are any things that you would want to hear more about, or if you feel like I covered something in a not digestible way, please let us know. We'll revisit that. But thank you for sticking around. We love you all, and we'll see you here next time. Take care.